Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Yes? Can you guys hear me? Am I audible? Yes. Yes, guys. Can you all hear me? Hello, hello. Yes. So live start किया है. Okay. Oh, very good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, public. Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. I am CS Kajalande from AAC, and today we will be smashing industrial laws. We will be smashing your labor laws. Yes, section B. We will be talking only and only about industrial laws today and tomorrow, maybe. Yes, today and tomorrow. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Muksa. Hello. Hi, Rohit. Good afternoon, Rohit. Hi, Devashri. Hi, Prachi. Hi, Bhakti. Good afternoon. So, I hope you guys are preparing well for your exams. If I talk about your law paper, I really want and I really hope that your law paper goes amazing, because last time, let it be CMA Foundation, let it be CMA Inter, students have been facing issues with law, though they were prepared and studied and things like that. And one of the major reason was because there was no writing practice, guys. There was lack of writing practice. So I keep telling you all, please do writing practice time and again. Keep doing it. It's very important. Number one. Number two, you guys need to keep on revising things again and again. I'm sure all of your concepts are extremely clear. Today we'll get to know again. Okay, the concepts and everything are extremely clear, I'm sure. But unless you guys don't revise this like from time to time, it's not going to help in any way. Okay, so you all need to do great revisions again and again, and you all need to nail your CMA inter exams. Yes, yes, everybody just go like the video first and then we'll start. I'm just waiting for people to join in so that we can start. Yes. Hello public, hello everyone, good afternoon. Okay, sure. Yes. So I think without wasting any further time, we need to start with the lecture. We will be conducting this lecture till 6 o'clock. Okay. Maximum 5:36 would be your lecture duration, and we will be covering 3 industrial laws today. I'm already telling you the agenda that we will be following. Okay. Good afternoon, Suryakant. Hi. So we'll be covering Factories Act. We'll be covering gratuity, factories, gratuity, and provident fund, EPFs. Okay, so these are the 3 acts that we'll be covering today, public. Yes, and tomorrow then we'll only be remaining with COW and ESI. Sorted. We'll be done with labor laws then, है ना? Okay, if time permits, we'll try finishing it all today, but I'm sure it won't. So that's why I'm saying let's just finish first 3 properly, and tomorrow we'll do the remaining 2. So tomorrow we'll just be done within an hour. Okay, so tomorrow's session won't be a very long session. It is going to be an hour session, which you guys are supposed to attend. Okay, chalo. Moving on, everybody, let's start. Let's start with Factories Act. Okay, so now as I say that I am not here to teach, I am here to revise. Okay, so I am expecting answers from your end, loads and loads of answers from your end. Okay, let's go. Now, Factories Act. Guys, if we talk about Factories Act, what is this act basically for? What is this, like, the specific reason? Like, there are n number of provisions that this Factories Act has, but what is the specific, one sec, yeah. What is the major thing that this Factories Act takes care of? Okay, now the first thing, guys, the main objective is to ensure the health, safety, welfare of the workers who are working in the factories. Okay, so let it be women, let it be young persons, let it be anyone. What is our main aim? Protection of workers. Very good, Rohit. Very good, Rohit. Protection of workers is the main idea behind this. If we talk about definitions, let's talk about a competent person. So, who is a competent person? Guys, who's a competent person for a Factories Act? Okay, now we can call him as a chief inspector. He is recognized by the chief inspector. And what does this person do? What is he mainly responsible for? He is mainly responsible for carrying out the examinations, for carrying out the inspections. N number of inspections are done in a factory. Why? To see if there is good enough protection for the woman, for the males working there, for the child who's working there, if there is enough protection, if there is enough safety measures provided for these people. Okay, so a competent person means a person who takes care of all this, like who examines all this, who carries out tests of all this. Okay, now what are the qualifications and experience? See, now that differs from person to person, from the kind of experience, from the kind of work that he is involved in. You just need to know one thing, that a person who can take tests, who can take examination, who can inspect all the facilities, that, oh, okay, this is as for Factories Act. Okay, this is something that should be taken care of. This is something that must be repaired. Okay, whoever does all that is a competent person in that particular factory. Okay, yes. Okay, now next, what is a hazardous process? Guys, define what is a hazardous process. Everyone, come on. What is a hazardous process? I want you guys to answer. So if we talk about a hazardous process means it can cause damage. It can cause damage to health of the people who are actually engaged in that hazardous process. Number one, it can also result in pollution of that entire environment. These are the two things, okay? And this is how you would define as hazardous process. Number one, everyone with me. Number one, it can cause material impairment. Impairment, what do you mean by impairment? Impairment means injury, damage, okay? So any process that can cause damage to the health of the persons, number one. Number two, it can result in the pollution of the environment. If anything of this sort, if any process, let it be for the byproducts, let it be for the intermediate products, let it be for the main products, anything of this sort is called as a hazardous process. Okay, and of course the rules relating to this are extremely strict. Okay, now the state government has in the official gazette mentioned about this. Okay, now let's talk about a manufacturing process. What is a manufacturing process? Generally what happens, so students get confused that a manufacturing process is nothing. You just need to manufacture and produce an output. Only then it's a manufacturing process. No, guys. It's different. Manufacturing process is different. Manufacturing process is much more than this. It's not such a narrow term. Okay, manufacturing even includes alterations. It even includes repair. It even includes when you're demolishing something. Like if I tell you in Hindi, Bhangarwala. Okay, now what do? They demolish materials. So manufacturing process includes even that. Pumping oil, generation of electricity, generation of power. Okay, then if you talk about printing, press, book binding, constructions, repairs, then there is a ship. You are breaking up that ship, you are breaking up that vessel, you are rebuilding it, preserving or storing any article in even the cold storages. All this is included in manufacturing process. So manufacturing process is just not creation of a new product. Of course, that's the basic, but it's not the only thing. Okay, it also includes repair. it also includes oiling, it also includes a cleaning process, okay, delivery, disposal, whatever can be used for sale, transport. Manufacturing process includes every bit of that. So it's a very much broader term. It's not such a narrow term that just creation of a product. Clear, guys? Once again, let's revise what we've done. What is the main purpose of Factories Act? Everyone, what is the main purpose of Factories Act? The main purpose of Factories Act is taking care of health, taking care of the safety of the workers in the factory. Okay, competent person who takes up all the tests, the examinations to see if everything in the factory is being conducted as per the provisions of this act. What is a hazardous process? Hazardous process means it can cause major impairment, major injury, major harm to people who are involved in this particular process, or it can also cause harm to the environment. Okay, now if we talk about a manufacturing process, I told you, it does not only include creation of a new product, but it includes everything. It includes repair, it includes oiling, it includes transmission of electricity, it includes cleaning, dispositions, everything. Clear? Yes. Okay, everyone. Okay, now next we will be talking about a worker. Who is a worker? Everyone, public, who is a worker? Okay, now there are two things, principal worker and, principal employer, contract employer or immediate employer. What is the difference between this? Okay, before I explain, I want you guys to explain. I think I had explained this to you in the writing practice session. I think so, I'm not sure. Immediate employer, please answer in the comment section. Versus immediate employer versus immediate employer versus principal employer. Okay, now what do you exactly mean by this? Immediate employer versus principal employer. So if we talk about an immediate employer, principal employer means who has a factory, okay, and he needs people to work for it. So he contacts this immediate employer who is a contractor, and he sends certain labor to this factory. Correct? So now this labor belongs to the immediate employer, but they are doing the work of the principal employer. Clear? Ultimate control. Very good, Rohit. Very good, Rohit. Absolutely correct. Okay, now let's get back. So yes, let's talk about principal employer. Now if we talk about the principal employer, guys, as Rohit just said, everything is done as per his knowledge. He has the ultimate control. Now who is a worker? Now worker, it includes even the workers of the immediate employer working for the principal employer. Clear? So all the workers are included here except for, of course, the armed forces. Okay. So if, for example, in a construction company, all the workers do not belong to the principal employer. There are few of them. So others come from the contractor. So all of them will be included in the definition of worker for this particular act. Yes? Okay. Now, what is the term factory, guys? As any premises including the precedence thereof means where 10 or more workers are working. Number one, that factory includes where 10 or more workers are working on any day during the 12 months where electricity is there and the manufacturing process has been carried out with the help of electricity. Clear? If we talk about the other part, 20 or more workers are working. Okay, here the first one was where 10 or more workers are working. Second is where 20 or more workers are working. Okay, but in first there was use of power. Here there is without the use of power, without the aid of power. Okay, they were working on any of the day preceding the 12 months, on any day. If more than 10 are working with the help of power, if more than 20 are working without the help of power. Will this be included in the definition of factory? Yes, absolutely, it will be included. Okay. But here it does not include a mine. And whenever you are counting the number of workers, okay, now what happened now, many times workers work in relays. What is relays? They work in shifts. The same type of work, they work in shifts. Okay, so all these numbers will be taken into account. It's not only you are taking the morning shift into the count, you're taking only the evening shift. No, everybody is taking into the count. Okay, and now just because, let's consider, just because there is a factory, and in that particular factory there is an electronic data processing unit, okay, or a computer. You've set up a computer in one of the corners of that factory. That doesn't mean, or that building, that doesn't mean that building becomes a factory. No. Just because a computer unit is established, that does not mean the building is equal to factory. No, not at all. Clear, everyone? Yes, understood. Okay. So, and this was held in the case law, guys. You all can see I have written it here. This is the case law. It was held that factory, it means any premises. But just because a computer unit is installed in any parts, it does not mean that it has become a manufacturing process or it has become a factory. There actually needs to be some kind of process that needs to be carried on to call that building a factory. Guys, getting it? Yes. Now, who gives the licenses, approvals, de-licenses, deregistering a particular premises? Who does all that? The state government. Clear, everyone? Guys, yes or no? Please tell me. Yes or no? I want you guys to stay active in the chat box. Yes or no, guys? Clear? Rohit, Surya, Mumuksa, Bhakti, Devashri, Prachi. Did I leave out on anyone? Now I know your names also. The ones who are active in the chat box. Yes, ma'am. Clear? Yes, ma'am. Very good. Very good. All clear. Are you being able to recall all the concepts? If you all are able to recall all the concepts, means very good. Means very good. Okay. Even if you all are not able to recall the concepts, it's fine. This is the time when you all need to. Now, who is an occupier? Tell me. Who is an occupier? Who has the ultimate control over the affairs of the factory? Who is an occupier? Who has the ultimate control of the factory? Okay. Now, in case of a firm or association of individuals, any of the partners. In case of a company, any of the director. In case of a factory owned by the central or the state government, then whatever the person the government has appointed, that person will become the occupier. In case of a ship repair, maintenance or dry dock, see if it's a dock owner or the ship owner. Okay, the matters that are directly concerning with the employees, it will be the ship owner. The matters that are concerned with the repair and maintenance part, it will be considered as a dock owner. Correct. Very good, Mumuksa. Very good, Rohit. The one who has the ultimate control over the factory. Yes. So once again, in case of a firm, any of the partners. In case of a company, any of the directors. In case of a factory that is owned by the government, any person who is appointed by the government. Yeah, in case it's a repair and maintenance thing, it's a dock owner. In case it's directly connected to the employee, then it's a ship owner. Yes. Okay. Now. Okay. Now, again, in this particular case law, it was held that when a company owns a factory, so any of its directors can be called as an occupier who has the ultimate control over the affairs of the company. Okay, we've already done this. Clear. Now, notice by an occupier. Guys, the occupier shall at least give a notice 15 days before he actually starts using the premises as a factory. Okay, so how many days before, guys? At least 15 days before. Whom should it be sent? It should be sent to the chief inspector. Okay, so the chief inspector. Who will send this? Occupier. Is it an oral notice or written notice? Written notice. What are you giving in that written notice? That, sir, after 15 days, in this particular situation, in this particular address, at this particular name, this is the address, we will be starting a manufacturing process and we have so many number of workers. Done. And every time when you appoint a new manager, send this that I have appointed a new manager now. The chief inspector should know this after 7 days from the appointment. Got it, guys? So first of all, before starting any place as a factory or before starting the whole manufacturing process, before 15 days, you need to inform the chief inspector that I am starting a factory and so this is the manufacturing process, these are the details of the workers and this is what I'm going to do, etc, etc. Done. That's it. Okay, number one. Number two, if you appoint a new manager, after appointment of the new manager, within 7 days, you inform the people that, you know what, you inform the chief inspector that we have appointed a new manager. That's it. Guys, is the speed okay? You guys are understanding? Yes. Now, every occupier, guys, what is the main job of the occupier? What is the main duty of the occupier? He needs to ensure health, safety, welfare of all the workers. This is what the main point of entire Factories Act is. And this is what the main point of the occupier is. He needs to make sure the welfare, the safety, the health of all the workers. Yes. Now let's talk about the chief inspector. So who appoints? The state government. As I told you, the entire licenses part. Actually, you all can hear me na clearly. Yes, so the entire licenses part, de-licenses, regulation, deregulation, this entire process. Who does this? The state government does it. Okay. So this inspector also, who will appoint it? State government appointed. Okay. Now, what are the powers of the inspector? Can the inspector enter into any place which he thinks is a factory to examine? Yes, he may. Can he make examination of a factory? Yes. Can he make examination of a machinery? Yes. Can he inquire into any dangerous occurrence? Like, oh, what incident exactly happened? Give me the details. Can he do that? Yes. Can he take statements from people that he think will be honest, is necessary? These people were there, they should be knowing. Can he do that? Yes. Can he require the factory to produce important documents? Absolutely. Can he seize the records, the registers, all other documents? Absolutely. Can he take possession of the articles? He can. And can he detain it with him? Yes. For how long? For the time that he thinks is necessary to finish the entire examination. Yes. Now, this is an important one. Very important. Exam POV. This is very important. So, please mark this as important. This question has frequently been asked by your institute. And how to remember this? Think that you are the inspector. And as a chief inspector, when you go to a factory and when you want to see that the entire health safety measures have been taken care of, what would you do, guys? What would you do? This is what the answer should be. You guys would do exactly the same thing that has been written. You'll go, you'll search the place, you'll search the machinery. If there is any incident that happened, you'll talk to people, you'll see what exactly has happened. You'll look into the documents. You can even take the possession of the documents. You'll seize certain premises. You'll seize a particular room maybe, or you'll seize the particular documents. This is what even you would do, right? Now, who is a certified surgeon? Who is a certified surgeon? Can anybody tell me? Who is a certified surgeon? Yes, everyone. Who is a certified surgeon? Yes, public. Okay, so certified surgeon section 10 says that the state government, because the state government is the head, guys, they do everything. They may appoint qualified medical practitioners. Okay, medical practitioners who have knowledge, and they may appoint them as certified surgeons. So what are the duties of certified surgeon? Ma'am, why do we appoint them? We appoint them so that they can examine and certify the young people that, okay, these young people are fit to work in this particular factory. This is what the certified surgeons do. Okay. They also, if there is any hazardous process, dangerous process, they examine it and they see that, okay, is this person capable enough to work in this particular factory? Okay, medical supervision, that you need to have a particular medical supervision in all sorts of hazardous processes. Okay. Now, when there are cases of illness, Now, there was this incident that had happened in the middle, long back, Chernobyl. There are even documentaries made on this, Chernobyl, then the Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, now people had started falling sick. And eventually, of course, these are the industrial disasters, but even generally, if we talk about generally what these certified surgeons do, they see that why are people falling sick here? Is it because of the air that this factory is polluting? Is it because of the chemicals that people who work in the factory, the chemicals directly impact them? Why is it that people are getting ill? Okay, so the cause of illness, that is been certified by this particular surgeon. Okay, then they say, is that, is it because of this manufacturing process that you have adopted a new manufacturing process, that this is injuring the health, it is injuring the workers, the employees, okay, the young people, because yeah, the youth, they have their entire life ahead of them. Is this process okay, where young people, where the youth can work? Isn't it going to be disastrous for their health? Okay, then the welfare measures. Factories Act takes care of the workers. Okay, so the Factories Act, it sees how is the working environment. It takes care of the safety, especially in hazardous product process. Working hours of the adults, it will take care of the working hours of the adults. Welfare of the workers, young people, it talks about wages even. Yes, so now the first one, guys, it talks about health. Okay, now chapter 3, please remember this, exam POV, chapter 3, it talks about health aspects. So what health aspects, guys? What is going to affect the health? Cleanliness. Cleanliness in the factory, number one. Disposal of waste, that are the wastes getting disposed properly? Ventilation, how dusty is it? There is overcrowding, there is too much humidity that has been created, there is lighting, is there good lighting, is there clean drinking water? There are so many diseases that happen because of unclean drinking water, and so many people have died because of that. Then how are the urinals, the washrooms, the spittoons? You know what is spittoons, guys? Anybody? Do you all know what is spittoons? Huh? Any idea what is spittoons? Yes, spittoons is we have an inside joke on this. Okay, so spittoons is like where people spit. Like in India, many people have this habit of eating the pan and then spitting. So instead of spitting on the walls and instead of spitting on the staircase, what do? They have created spittoons. Okay, so even spittoons and all of them must be maintained hygienically. Even they should be clean. Now, this is very important in rural areas, in areas where there are factories. Okay, yes. Next, moving on. Now, cleanliness, if we talk about cleanliness, every factory, guys, it shall be kept clean. Okay, it shall be free from dirt, drain, the dirty drainage parts that remains, okay, the human waste and everything. Okay, so you just remove the dirt, because there are many times dirt on the benches, on the staircase, the passages, especially, that should be removed. We need to clean the floor of every workroom at least once in a week. We need to wash it with phenyl, with disinfectants. That's the basic that should happen. Okay. Then you need to provide effective drainage system, because so many people working, and if the drainage system is not okay, can we imagine how unhygienic and how dirty it's going to be? Okay, then we need to ensure that the walls, the roofs, they are kept clean. So either whitewash it or color it every 14 months. Okay, at least once. Then the surface has been painted or varnished. Now, what is the meaning of varnished? Varnish means a shiny coat is given, like a paint. It's a shiny coat that has been given. Okay, so where that has been done, so at least once in every 5 years, you need to redo it. And if it's a washable surface, like you can clean it, you can wash it, then do it at least once every 6 months. Okay. Now there are paintings and everything. As I said, if it's painted or if it's varnished, at least once in every 14 months, it should be redone. And if we talk about windows, doors, then wooden or metallic, it shall be varnished at least once in 5 years. Okay, so if we talk about windows and doors, their varnishing should be done once every 5 years. Clear, guys? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about cleanliness once again. So if you guys get a question in your exam relating to cleanliness, how would you answer this? Number one, guys, all the factories, it should be kept free from the dirt, the human dirt and all sorts of dirt, especially the accumulated dirt on the floor, the benches, the staircase, the passages. Then cleaning of the floor should be done once every week. Then the drainage water should be removed as much as to the maximum extent. The drainage system should be clean. Okay, the walls and the roofs should be redone after at least once in every 14 months. It can be whitewashed or however color wash, whatever. Then when the surface is painted or varnished, and the windows and the doors, when they are painted or varnished, this should be redone every 5 years. Then next is where the surface, it needs to be cleaned at least once in 14 months if it's painted, and if it's washable, once in every 6 months. Clear? Easy, guys, easy. As I told you, in short, we are covering everything. Easy chapter, है ना? Labor laws is very easy. You just need to have patience to finish this. Okay. Now, next if we talk about disposal of waste and effluents. Okay. Guys, every factory, we need to, as a factory officer, as an occupier, as a chief inspector, we need to take care that every factory has a good enough system to dispose of their waste. Number one. Number two, there should be good ventilation, adequate ventilation. You know, there were old days. In old days, the factories, they had terrible ventilation, terrible. Like people used to work like in a room which is entirely dark, with no air, with no windows, with no boxes of, like where open air can pass, nothing. So many people exhaling carbon dioxide, working in the same damn room. It was terrible. It was inhumanly. That's why this section 13 has come up. Okay, that ventilation should be there. That at least your health, there is comfort to your health. We are not expecting luxury, but at least there should be some comfort. So adequate ventilation should be there. Also, the temperatures cannot be excessively high or excessively low. Such temperatures are going to create a lot of problems. People won't be able to work in such an environment. So the temperature should be moderate, not very high, not very low. Dust and fume. If we talk about dust and fume, again, people breathe in factories and we are working, or even when we are living, guys, we need to breathe. So when people are breathing and you are inhaling dust, there is accumulation of all these dust particles and the dirt, and people are inhaling that. It can cause serious health problems. Okay. Then artificial humidification. For certain processes, for certain manufacturing processes, artificially you need to humidify the environment. Okay. But now this also needs to be done only up to a certain extent, because a lot of humidity can cause a lot of discomfort amongst the workers. Okay. So you need to regulate the method that how much air you can humidify. Yes, okay. And especially if you're doing artificial humidification, you need to take care of the ventilation at its max. Yes, guys, yes. Okay, now next is overcrowding, section 16. Guys, am I going too fast or is it okay? Because this is like a revision, a quick, fast revision. That's why this is not how normally we would teach. Normally, maybe right now we'll just be done with 2 pages. Like I'll be telling you about the case laws and how actually things happen in factories, the practical experiences. But right now we can't do that. Right now it's only revisions. So are you guys okay with the speed? Yes, public. Yes, everyone. Guys, make sure you like the video. It's better than okay, ma'am. Oh, very good. Yes, ma'am, it's okay. Great, great. If at any point of time you feel that, ma'am, please go a bit slow, we'll definitely slow down. Okay? Now let's move on, everyone. We were talking about overcrowding. Now, Guys, no room in a factory shall be overcrowded. Overcrowded that people can't breathe. It's going to be injurious to their health. No. And in every workroom in a factory, at least 14.2 cubic meters space for every worker should be there. It's just this much space, 14.2 cubic meters space for one worker. That can be done. Okay. Now, lighting. If we talk about lighting, in every part of the factory, if the workers are going to work there or even they're going to cross by the passage or the staircase, so there should be sufficient lighting. Let it be natural lighting or let it be the artificial tube lights or whatever. But it should be natural, okay? Also, windows, skylights, you should keep space for the original, the natural light to come in, okay? Next is, guys, drinking water. Now we will be saying ki, okay, you know what, ma'am, I'll open the entire window, the entire sunlight will come on someone's face. No, something that is eye straining, don't even do that. No extremes like complete dark or so much like the eye is strained. Okay, no. The next is drinking water. If we talk about drinking water, guys, section 8 talks about that there should be arrangements made at suitable hotspots for drinking water. Okay, now it should be convenient for all the employees, and especially if you have more than 250 employees, okay, 250 workers, then especially during the summer period, you should make sure that cold drinking water is also available. And all these water hotspots, they should be 6 meters away from, you know, the dirty places like the washrooms, the open drains, the spittoons. Okay, these water spots should be at least 6 meters away. Why? To maintain basic hygiene, or else one person is spitting here and there is just a water spot next to it, and that spit passes on to the water spot, you know, to the on the tap of that water spot. Can you imagine how dirty it's going to get? Yes. Okay. Now next, if we talk about the washrooms, guys, there should be sufficient washrooms, that if, you know, there are many employees there, many workers there, so few of them might go at the same time. So it is sufficient enough that few of them can go. Female and male workers should have different spaces of washrooms. Even they should be ventilated so that it's hygiene, you know, ventilation. Then they should be lighted. They shall be maintained in a clear, sanitary situation, not in a very unhygienic situation. And we should appoint sweepers also who make sure that they are cleaning the washrooms time to time. Okay, now if there are more than 250 workers, guys, you need to make sure the washrooms, okay, are specifically prescribed. How? They are divided in blocks. Now, once they are divided in blocks, and they are well polished, the surface and everything is well. So, the cleaning becomes easier, and when so many people are there, the washrooms can accommodate many people at the same time. Okay, like when you go to the mall, even in malls, right, there are blocks. So similarly, and at least once in 7 days, it should be cleaned with phenyl, with Dettol like disinfectants. Okay, at least once in a week, at least. Now spittoons, as you know, spittoons is where people go and spit usually. So there should be sufficient number at convenient places. If the spittoon is 1 kilometer away, the person is obviously not going to walk so much. If the factory is here and the spittoon is 1 kilometer away, he won't go. He'll just spit it on the way, right? So it should be at convenient places, and even these should be maintained clean and hygienic. Imagine during COVID time and these spittoons, just imagine the situation. Now, let's talk about safety. If we talk about safety of the working place in the factory. So, a factory is to take safety measures in respect of the following. The machinery coverage. You never know, like recently there was a case, yesterday I told you the ice cream case, like a part of the finger of a worker, it went into the ice cream. Remember? So, that fencing of the machinery should be done. That there shouldn't be any risk like the worker will get into the machine, he'll harm himself. No, none of that should happen. Okay, then employment of young people, especially if it's on dangerous machines. Then whichever accessories you use to cut short the power or to get the electricity back. Okay, then the floors, staircase access, then the lifts, certain machineries, employment of children, employment of women. You should be careful with all this. A new machinery that you really don't know how it is. Okay, Then excessive heavy raw materials or machineries. Then eyes needs to be protected at all times. Then there are dangerous gases and fumes that are all over in a factory. So we need to protect ourselves with a mask. You know, masks have become compulsory now. Okay. Then there is dust, precaution in case of fire, maintenance of buildings, safety officers need to be appointed. All of this needs to be taken care of. Under which act, guys? Under Factories Act. Clear? Now, next we will be talking about hazardous process. Now, who is the boss, guys? State government. State government is always the boss. So, state government, it appoints a committee which is known as the Site Appraisal Committee. Now, what does this committee do? It sees the factory, it will examine the factory, it will see what is the hazardous process, okay, and then it will make its recommendations to the state government. So, committee says, you know what, I think this is fine, this is okay, let this process go on. It takes care of the safety. So on their recommendation, even if the state government approves it, okay, like go ahead with the hazardous process, permission has been given for this particular location, no problem, go ahead. Then you do not even need to take permission from the pollution control bodies. Yes, why? Because the state government, they themselves have given you the permission. Yes, guys, clear, guys. Okay, now next. What is the responsibility of the occupier, guys? Very simple. What is the responsibility of the occupier? The occupier, he is supposed to disclose all the information, especially if it is regarding a hazardous process. Okay, he needs to disclose all the information. He needs to talk about the handling of substances, the materials. He needs to know everything. He needs to draw an emergency plan that, okay, fine, I am taking care of things, but what if a disaster just happens? I need to take care of that. I need an emergency plan that if there is a disaster, the workers, they might quickly exit from here. Then the public living in around the factory, they shouldn't be harmed because of any factory accident, correct? The way Bhopal gas tragedy happened, the way Chernobyl had happened, there were so many people who were harmed because of the factory incident. So many people. Even today, if you see Bhopal gas tragedy, even today, we can see victims of Bhopal gas tragedy because the generations, the next upcoming generations, everybody has faced it. It has become permanent impairment now. Yes, and also what does the occupier do? He lays down the process, like if there is a hazardous substance, how do you transport it? How do you store it? How do you manufacture it? Okay, if this is a process that you're following, if there is a hazardous process, how do you take care of it? All this is done by the occupier. Guys, so do you know how important this occupier is? How important this occupier is? So occupier, guys, everyone, come on, everybody put down in the comment section in 3 lines, tell me what are the duties of the occupier. What does an occupier do? He gives information regarding the dangerous substances, the hazardous processes, the information, the handling of these substances, the transportation, also an emergency plan in case of disaster management. Yes. Okay, also guys, he has to maintain health records of employees, okay, to see that, to make sure that this hazardous process is not affecting them, right? Yes, next, now what are the powers of central government? CG, apan ka kikka, boss, that's CG, central government. When central government comes into the picture, it has a say over every other authority. Yes, it is the central government, the CG. So CG has a power to inquire into what health standards are you following. Let me see. Can it inquire? Of course. Can it provide for emergency standards? It should. Very good, Rohit. Very good, Rohit. It should provide emergency standards. Okay. Maximum permissible limits. These are the maximum limits of the toxic substances, not beyond this. Your factory cannot use it beyond this. Okay. Then a safety committee. A safety committee can also be set up by the CG. Now a safety committee, it will include employers, it will also include the workers, okay, so that both of them work together, there is a good cooperation between them, and that the workers have reasonable apprehension that whatever, there is no danger to their life, okay, they're sure about it, there's no danger to their life. The government, the chief inspector, the occupier, everybody is taking care of that. And even if there is any issue, even if there is any danger, they will protect us in such a case. Okay, now what are the welfare measures, guys, that are expected for the workmen? Number one, washing facilities. Okay, we are going to see this one by one. Washing facilities. Now, many a times what happens, not many times, honestly, majority of the times what happens, guys, people in the factory, they are like, when we are going to the factory, we wear different clothes, and when we are doing the factory process, everybody has a uniform. That time the clothes are different, okay, so now we need to wash it because the factory clothes have toxic chemicals on it, toxic substances on it, so we need to wash it time to time, okay. So in every factory, adequate and suitable facilities for washing needs to be there. Separate ones. For females, it needs to be different. For males, it needs to be different. Okay, and it shall be kept clean, the washing facilities, or else the washing facilities are only dirty. What you'll go there and you'll wash the clothes with dirty water? What's the use? Yes. Washing is not only enough. We need to have drying and storage facilities also, because where would we keep the wet cloth? Right? Next is sitting. Now, generally people in factories, they're standing and they're working, but during breaks or if they feel tired, whenever they want to sit, enough adequate space should be given. You can't say, as an owner, you can't say that, what, you guys stand only and do it. Why do you need space to sit? That's why I kept a small factory. No, you can't do that. First aid appliances, guys, section 45, please remember this. Okay, during all hours, the cupboards should have a first aid appliance. Okay, now 150 workers, there should be one first aid appliance for 150 workers. If there are 300, two first aid appliances. Okay, now this first aid box, it is kept and it is taken care by a person who is recognized by the state government, who has an expertise, who has knowledge that how do I use this first aid box. He knows how to give first aid to people. He knows how to give first aid if somebody gets hurt in case of an injury. He knows it. Okay, so the state government will appoint such a person. Yes, and the first aid box needs to be taken care of by him. Now, where there are more than 500 employees, workers, then even an ambulance should be there. Yes, at all times, because anything can happen anytime. 500 workers work here. The next is canteen. If we talk about canteen, where you have more than 250 workers, there should be canteen facilities. Very important, exam POV, very important, case law, very important. Now see, we know what an immediate employer, we know what a principal employer. So if there are these workers of the contractor, will they be included for even like under the definition of Factories Act? Will they be included in the worker definition? Absolutely. Even though they are working for the immediate employer, but they are doing our job, principal employer, right? They are our responsibility. Now, if we talk about canteens, so why did I repeat this point right now? You'll realize if there are more than 250 workers, okay, they need to maintain a clean canteen for all the workers. And whatever the expenses of this canteen is, it obviously the employer will take care of it. Okay, now the people who are working in the canteen. Now the principal employer did not open this canteen. He gave it to a contractor. Now the contractor has hired a waiter, a chef and things like that. Now will the chef and the waiter be employees of the principal employer, or will they be employees of the immediate employer? Yes. Please answer, guys. Please answer. CMA, come on, interpretation. Dimag, come on. Yes. Okay, so now remember, if in a canteen, no. See, remember, if in a canteen, okay. See, this is a contractor. He has opened up a canteen and he has hired waiters and people, waiters, etc. Okay. But it's in the factory of the principal employer. Now, these people, the waiters and everyone, they will be considered as employees of the contractor, not the principal employer. Because this is a very, very indirect connection. Understood? Yes, guys? Okay. There was a case law on this. Okay. Next. Shelters, restrooms, lunchrooms. Okay. Now. Clear, guys? Okay. Now this provision is clear, no? Okay. Now shelters, restroom, lunchrooms. If more than 150 workers are employed, you need to have adequate restrooms. You need to have suitable lunchrooms where you are providing drinking water, where you are providing rest areas for them where they can go and rest. Okay. Now creches. Now what is creches? If more than 30 women workers are employed. Okay. And because 30 women workers are there, so of course there are chances that we might have small little kids in the factory, right? So for them, especially up to the age of 6 years, okay, so the woman can bring the child there. There is a room that is very nicely maintained, clean, ventilated. So there is a room where the woman can keep their children and then they can work in the factory, okay, up to 6 years of age, the children. And who takes care of the children in that room? So you appoint a lady who is trained in taking care of children. And who pays for this lady? The factory. Clear, guys? Okay. Now, welfare officers, if you have more than 500 workers, we can have as many as welfare officers as we need, as we require. Working hours of adult, very, very important, everyone, very, very important. Working hours of adult. No adult worker shall be required. He cannot be asked to work for more than how many hours in a day? How many hours in a day? How many hours in a day? 9 hours in a day. Now, if we talk about an adult, okay, he can work for 5 hours, then he can take a gap, an interval, a break of half an hour, and then you work for the remaining 5 hours. But maximum, maximum. Okay, so a break, like you cannot see, though you can work for 9 hours in a day, but you cannot work for 7 hours and then take a break and then work for 2 hours. No, 5 hours, take a break, and then you work for 4 hours. Yes. Then if we talk about an adult, the intervals, they shall be spread. And if you talk about the working hours and if you talk about the breaks that he has taken, it can never be more than 10.5 hours in a day. His working hours is plus his interval time cannot be more than 10.5. Very good, Rohit. Very good, Mumuksa. 48 hours maximum in a week. Yes, okay. Now, let's talk about the weekly holidays, guys. No adult worker shall be required. See, on a Sunday, everybody gets holiday, okay? So, here on a Sunday, first day means Sunday. First day of the week is considered as a Sunday, okay? So, he cannot be asked to work on a Sunday until and unless he had been given a holiday before that day, okay? He's promised that he will be given a holiday, he will be compensated for the Sunday. Again, then it's not a problem. But this compensation must be done immediately within 3 days. Or if today is a Sunday and he is working, so in the previous 3 days, he must have taken a holiday. Then it's okay. Okay? Yes? Okay. Now the manager, they need to talk about the substitute that, okay, you know what, Sundays you will not get a holiday, Monday you will get a holiday. Is this normal? Absolutely. Absolutely. Many of the factories, these automobile factories, they are working on Sundays and they have a holiday on Monday. Many of them. Okay. So here it's fine. You can make them work on a Sunday, but then just make sure that you are giving them a substitute holiday. Okay. Okay. Now, compensatory holiday. As I said, if a person he couldn't take any weekly holiday, so now in the same month itself, let him compensate for that. Let him take his weekly holidays, or within the next 2 months maximum, immediately give him his holidays. Okay. Now, shift duty, where a worker has worked beyond midnight after 12 o'clock, even if he has worked. Okay. So he, in such a case, period of 24 consecutive hours. Okay. This period begins after his shift ends. Then he will get a holiday for the next 24 hours. He has worked even beyond midnight. So now for the once his shift ends, the 24 hours will begin, and he will get a holiday for this. Okay. So the following day will be a holiday, and whatever the part of like after midnight, after 12 o'clock, a new day starts, right? But whatever that later midnight part is considered, that will be counted in the previous day when you are calculating his number of hours. Yes. Okay. Now, if we talk about overtime, he can work 9 hours in a day. He can work 48 hours in a week, not after that. But even if he's working after that, he will be getting wages. He will be getting overtime wages, double of the basic salary. Okay. Now double employment. Now, if an adult worker, he is required or he is allowed to work in any factory on any day, which he has already been working in any factory. Okay, now see, for example, a worker, he is working in a particular factory. 2 factories is working in at the same time. Now, you cannot let an adult do that, because how is it possible? How will he work on one day in 2 different factories? It's not easy. Okay, so there is a restriction on this. Minimum twice the normal wages, double the payment. Very good, guys. Double the basic wages. Yes. Now there is a register of adult workers that needs to be maintained, where their name is given, the nature of work, what kind of work they do, then if are they included in any group, then what are the shifts that they're doing, a morning shift, they're doing an evening shift, they're doing a night shift, and all other particulars. Okay. Now, can we employ women? Of course, employment of women in factories is allowed, but they have certain restrictions. They can only work from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. That is during the daytime. What if they want to work from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.? They can, like the night shift. They can do a night shift, just the permission will be required of the state government. Okay. And once a shift is decided for an entire week, it cannot be changed in the middle. Let the holiday come and then you change a shift. Okay. For their safety. Now, can young people be employed? 100% they can be employed. Now, the ones who have not completed 14 years, who are below 14 years, can they work in a factory? No. Now, the ones who are above 14 years, can they work in a factory? Yes, but a certificate of fitness will be required. Correct? So, the manager will have to give a certificate of fitness. And if we talk about a child, this young person, this child who's 14 year above, but who's 15 year below, he should carry a reference of his certificate of fitness. Anybody can ask him anytime in the factory. Now, certificate of fitness says that, okay, if you are above 14 years, you are physically fit to work in such a work environment. Okay. And if for 15 years and above, it's an adult. So, here the certificate says you are fit that you can work for an entire day. Now, this certificate is valid for 12 months, and if a person becomes unfit in those 12 months, it can be withdrawn, and then that person won't be able to work. Working hours for children. If we talk about working hours for children, guys, there are 2 shifts. Like, for example, the 5-hour shift in the morning, the 5-hour shift in the evening. Okay, not more than 5 hours. One shift cannot be spread for more than 5 hours. So, the children, each child can work only in one of the shift. Okay, and if we talk about a female child, they can work only from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., not beyond 7 p.m. A female child. Got it? Again, there is a register that needs to be maintained by the manager, where every name of the child is written, the nature of his work, in which group is he included, the shifts that he is into, morning shift, night shift. Okay, then the certificate of fitness that he has obtained. Annual leave granted with wages. Now, every worker, guys, who has worked for 240 days in a factory, Okay, during a calendar year. Can he take leaves? Yes, of course he can take leaves. For every 20 days that he has worked, he can take one leave. And for children, it's every 15 days they have worked, they can take one leave proportionately. Yes, okay. Now, while calculating these 240 days, okay, that only when 240 days are completed in the previous calendar year, then this is the eligibility criteria for leaves, right? So when you're calculating these 240 days, how would you calculate it? Now, if there was any layoff, that there was any order, standing order, any layoff, that the factory is shut, not because of the fault of the worker, then in such a situation, obviously these days will be counted. Then if it's a female worker, she will go on a maternity leave, even that will be counted. For how much time? 12 weeks, that is counted. Then last year you had earned certain leaves, okay, but you did not claim those leaves, you did not go on a holiday, and this year you want to claim the last year's leaves. Okay, this year you want to claim the last year's leaves. Will this be included while calculating 240 days? Yes, even if you go on a leave, these leaves will still be a part of the 240 days. Yes, because these leaves belong to the current year or last year? Last year. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone? Okay, moving on. Now, when you're calculating if it's a half day or if it's a full day, okay, how do you calculate that? So, generally, if your half day is given at 1 o'clock, okay, and the person comes before 1 o'clock, then it's a half day. If the person comes at 2 o'clock, then it will be a full day leave. Got it, gotcha. Okay, carry forward. Can we carry forward leaves? Absolutely, we can carry forward leaves to the next year. If this year we did not take leaves, we do not require it. Can we carry forward it to the next year? Yes, in case of an adult, he can carry 30. In case of a child, he can carry 40 leaves ahead. Availing of leave. If we talk about, we want leaves, okay, in case of like we know that, okay, we are going on a trip, we are going out with family or wherever, so we need to inform the manager at least 15 days before that after 15 days I will be going on a leave, number one. But if you are involved in a public utility service, so what is a public utility service? For example, BSNL, electricity. If you are involved in this department, then at least 30 days before you need to tell the manager that I will be going on leave. Okay, because public utility services, if there are no employees, their entire business will come to a standstill. Correct, guys? Now, wages during leave period. Now, will we get wages during leave period? Yes, absolutely. A worker is entitled to get wages. How much? Equivalent, like he's coming and working. The average wages, like his full-time earnings, the same level wages he gets, but of course it does not include bonus, but it includes the DA. DA is dearness allowance. Just like a full-time earning, guys. Simple. Advance payment. Now we are going on a holiday for 5 days. Okay. If it's an adult, for 4 days, and now I need money because 4 days I won't be coming, so I need money in advance. Can the company give it? Yes. Encashment. Encashment means if a worker, he quits his employment, or if he's removed, he's dismissed, he's discharged. So within 2 days, okay, within 2 days, he needs to be given the money. He needs to be given his wages. Done, guys. Done. Last part, done. Liability of the owner. So now, for example, guys, there is this huge premises in which I have 3 buildings. One building I had given to Mr. A, second building I had given to Mr. B, third building I had given to Mr. C. Now, these 3 different buildings I have given to 3 different people. And all three of them are different occupiers doing their own things, and they have set up a factory there. Okay, so the entire premises, drainage, road, water supply, lighting, I have to take care of. Why? Because A will say that let B take care, B will say that let C take care. Right? Okay. That's a liability. Enhanced penalty. Guys, if you do not follow the provisions of this particular section, the penalty is 10,000, and which may extend to 2 lakhs, and imprisonment 3 years maximum. Okay. Now, if you obstruct an inspector, you're not letting him regulate his powers, you're not giving him the registers, the documents, you are not letting him examine anyone, you're not letting him talk to people, then 10,000 fine, 6 months jail, or both. Hazardous process, because hazardous process is serious crime. Okay, so 7 years imprisonment, fine which may extend to 2 lakhs or 5,000 for every day till the time this irregularity has been continued. Okay, done, done, done. That's it. That's it, everyone. That's it. Guys, anybody, any doubts in Factories Act? Now, the next 2 chapters are Makhan. It's going to get done very easily. Yes, anybody, any doubts in Factories Act? Anybody, any doubts in Factories Act? All clear, Factories Act? Yes. Guys, make sure you're liking the video. Clear? Yes, ma'am, clear. Devashri, Rohit. No doubts. Very good, very good. Okay, chalo. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about Gratuity Act. Now, when we talk about Gratuity Act, guys, the way Factories Act was focusing, clear, no? We are going to do 3 chapters today. Factories is done. We are going to do gratuity and we'll be doing 1 more chapter. Okay, and I'll free you guys up by 6 o'clock max. Max. Maybe 5:30, 5:45 also. Okay, so just hang on. Ma'am, I'm done with ethics and director chapter with writing practice and learning today. I will be doing labor law. Very good, Devashri. Very good, Devashri. Almost there then. Almost there. Commercial laws also. Next week, I will be taking revision of commercial laws. Yes? Okay. Now, coming back. The Factories Act. What was the reason that Factories Act was set up? Factories Act was mainly for the safety and welfare of the workers. Correct. Okay. Now, what is the main aim of Gratuity Act, guys? Main aim of Gratuity Act is we need to provide relief to employees' family. We need to give a lump sum payment to an employee. If he retires, superannuation, terminated, he needs to have some money, no, after retirement. That is gratuity. If he's dead, then his family should have some money. That is gratuity. Yes? Okay. Now, appropriate government. Let's talk about appropriate government. If we talk about what is an appropriate government, central government, especially if a company has, if a particular organization has branches in more than 2 states, again central government. Then it's a factory which is under the control of central government, the appropriate government is CG. If it's a mine, it's a railway company, it's a port, appropriate government is CG. In all other cases, it is SG. Okay, matlab state government. Now, an employee, guys, who is an employee? Employee means any person other than a trainee. Other than a trainee. Okay, who is doing any sort of work, let it be technical, let it be manual, any kind of work in a plantation, in a port, anything, in a factory, okay, it will apply to it. Okay, now, next, there was this case that had been going on that are teachers included in the definition of gratuity. So yes, they are included in the definition of employees for payment of gratuity. Teachers of education institutions. Okay. Now, important amendments. If we talk about important amendments, initially the maximum limit of gratuity was 10 lakhs. Now it has been doubled. It is 20 lakhs now. Okay. Now, even maternity benefit, initially it was 12 weeks. That maternity benefit, 12 weeks females could take up, but now it is 26 weeks, guys. Now, who is an employer? Employer means any factory, any port, any railway company or any shop. Okay, if it belongs to the central government, that will be the appropriate government. Otherwise, it's a state government. Okay. And if it does not belong to the central government or state government, it belongs to a local authority, then that head of the local authority, the chief executive officer, okay, will be the employer. If you talk about the central government, the state government organization, the people, the organizations that are under CG, that are under SG, okay, then whoever is the head of that ministry or department, they will be the employer. And in any other case, person who has the ultimate control over the affairs, ultimate control over the affairs will be the employer. Yes. Like generally in case of companies, it is MD, Managing Director. Yes, guys, got it? Now, who is considered under the definition of family? Who is family? Guys, the term family, if we talk about, in case of a male employee, okay, he himself, 1, his wife, 2, see. Family means himself, okay, his wife, okay, children. The children can be married or unmarried, doesn't matter. Okay. His dependent parents, parents who are dependent on him, okay. Then parents of wife also, because they are dependent, okay. And if that particular employee, he had a son who died, so his widow and children. Got it? So this is included in the family. Clear, guys? Yes. And in case of a female employee, again, it's the same thing. Herself, her husband, her children, her parents, husband's parents. If she had a son, the widow and that son died. So the widow of the son and the children of that dead son. So all of them will be included under the definition of family. Okay. Now, a lawfully adopted child can also be included in the definition of family. Okay, now, guys, an employee, he has to send a notice in Form D to an employer. He sends it in 3 copies, triplicate. And what the employer does, he returns 1 copy to the employee. So, there are 3 copies. 1 is returned back to the employee. 1 is given to the controlling authority. And 1 he keeps it with himself. 1 is with himself. Okay. Now, if we talk about superannuation means now you are no longer going to serve the office. Now you're no longer going to do the job. Now you are retiring. You're vacating the employment. Okay. Wages. We all know what all these wages include. It includes everything else, especially the dearness allowance and whatever benefits is given to him in cash. But it does not include bonus. It does not include HRAs, that is house rent allowances. It does not include OTs. It does not include commissions. And whatever allowances you've given, it does not include all of that. So in short, it includes the basic wages plus DA. You all know what is a DA? What is a dearness allowance? Yes. Now let's talk about continuous service. Now, what is a continuous service, guys? If an employee, he is in continuous service, means he has been working continuously without any interruptions, the way we've been taking this lecture, continuously, without any interruptions, okay? Now, interruptions can happen when he falls sick, when he meets with an accident, okay? When he takes a leave, but it was for emergency, when there is a layoff, when all the employees have gone on a strike, when there is a lockout. None of it he has done it intentionally. None of it he has done it intentionally. So here it will not be called as a break in the service. It will still be considered as uninterrupted service. If he takes holidays because of his sickness, still uninterrupted? Yes. If he takes holiday because of his accident, still uninterrupted? Yes. Because all this was not in his hands. Yes, महंगाई भत्ता. Yes, Rohit. महंगाई भत्ता, dearness allowance, inflation adjustments. Okay. Now, when is it considered? If he's not in service, if he's not in a continuous service. Number 1, I told you what uninterrupted service means. Now, consider that he's not in a continuous service. So, it will be deemed that for 1 year, he was in a continuous service when he at least worked 190 days, guys. At least work 190 days. Or 240 days in the past 12 months. 190 days in mines, where there was a 6-day working, and where there were others other than mines, other than 6-day working, 240 days in the past 12 months. Okay, and in the past 6 months, just half, do an exact half of it. Okay, so if when there was a 6-day, when there was a 6-day week, less than a 6-day week, at least 95 days he was working. And in others other than mine, it was 120 days. So in 6 months, if it's a normal category office company, so in 6 months you have worked for 120 days. In 1 year you have worked for 240 days. Then you will be considered that you are in a continuous employment. Clear, everyone? Yes, everyone. Disablement. What does disablement mean? Disablement means incapacity of an employee that has been caused due to an action, a process that was done in the employment process when he was an employee. Yes? Now, see, Rule 3 says that within 30 days of rules becoming applicable to an establishment, Form A shall be submitted to the controlling authority that, you know what, this is now applicable to us. Now, even we are going to follow your act. Okay, number 1. Then next is Form B. Form B should also be submitted to the controlling authority when you are changing the name of the business, when you are changing the address of the business, when you are changing the nature of the business, anything, any of this sort. Whenever you're changing any of them, okay, just 1 second. Yes, whenever you are changing any of them, you are supposed to inform the controlling authority within how many days? Within how many days? Within 30 days. Within 30 days. Okay, clear. Next. When an employer intends to close down the business, that, you know what, I'm not going to continue this business anymore, inform in Form C that I want to shut down the business, I am not going to continue this anymore, in Form C. Again, within how many days? 60 days. Clear, everyone? So number 1, when this becomes applicable, Form A. When you change anything, Form B. When you want to shut it down, Form C. Form B, 30 days, Form C, 60 days. Clear, guys? Yes? Okay. Any doubts? No? Okay. Very good. Now, display of notice. If we talk about display of notice, you know, wherever the main entrance of the establishment is, in bold letters in English or in the language that majority of the workers understand, and it is signed and everything, you need to display the rules of this act in short. How much ever is important for them to know, you need to add it so that the employees get to know that, okay, these are the rules, these are my rights. Got it? Gotcha? Yes. Now, payment of gratuity. Gratuity shall be payable. Okay. Now, if we talk about, for example, an employee, his employment ends due to death or his employment ends due to disablement. So, gratuity to whom shall it be paid? It shall be paid to the nominee. It shall be paid to the legal heirs. Correct? Okay. Done, done. Come directly on the next page. Amount of gratuity payable. Now, how would we calculate the amount of gratuity payable? First of all, you need to have a continuous service. Continuous service, we just saw uninterrupted service, 240 days, 140 days, 120 days, right? We all saw that. So, continuous service should be there. And now, how do you calculate the amount of gratuity? For every completed year of service or part in excess of 6 months at the rate of 15 days wages last drawn. Okay, so see, the formula is gratuity is equal to the last wage that has been drawn. Last wage drawn. Now, this wage does not include any allowances. Okay. 15 days you are considering for 1 month. Now, why 26 days? Sundays is excluded. That's why here 1 month is 26 days. Okay. So, this is 1 month. Into the number of years of service that you have completed. Right? This is the formula. Now, can gratuity be forfeited? Gratuity can be forfeited, of course, wholly or partly. If there was violent on behalf of the employee, if his conduct was not good, he is involved in an offense which involves moral turpitude, okay, and because of his negligence, the employer has suffered a huge loss. Okay, but it cannot be withheld without legal authority. You need legal permission for this, and also you must give him an opportunity of being heard. You should give him a show cause notice that, you know what, do you have anything to say, because I think I will be suspending, or I will be there will be forfeiture of your gratuity. Okay. Now, every employee completing 1 year of service, the moment you complete 1 year of service, submit Form F. Okay, Form F is a nomination form. You can nominate one member or 2-3 members or n number of members of your family to get gratuity. Now, when does the nomination part come into the picture? After the existence of this employee. Yes, so if the employee has no family while making the nomination, he was single and not ready to mingle, and he made a nomination in Form F. Okay, it can be in favor of any third person. But after that, he found someone, he found the girl of his dreams, and he got married to her. Now he's acquired a family. Now a fresh nomination will have to be made. Okay. Now what if the nominee only dies before the employee? Then again a fresh nomination will be made. Okay. So nomination, it will be done in duplicate. It can be either done by personally or it can be done through registered post. Existing employees, 1 year or more, okay, they must file within 90 days of the commencement of these rules, and new employees who have just come into the picture, they can file this within 30 days. The moment you complete 1 year, do it within 30 days. Employers can accept delayed nominations if the employee had a sufficient cause. Okay, they should verify it within 30 days. Then employees acquiring a family later, like he got married later on, within 90 days, Form G, that, you know, now I have a family and now I have these nominations. If you want to modify the nominations, Form H. Okay, every modification must be signed, okay, by 2 witnesses. And when will this come into effect? When the employer receives it. Done. Determination on the amount of gratuity. Okay, now see, the employer, he says, as soon as the gratuity becomes payable, as soon as it becomes payable, okay. So even if the employee has asked for it or not, the employee approached you or not, but the employer, he notifies the controlling authority in Form L that I am supposed to pay this person gratuity. It's time for me to pay this person gratuity, and this is done in Form L. Okay. And the gratuity must be paid within 30 days. If you do not pay this within 30 days, 10% interest will have to be given. Okay, so if it's not done within 30 days, you will have to pay a 10% interest, the employer. Okay. Okay, done. And if you do not want to admit the claim, okay, the employer has issues with it. The employer says, no, I think there is some issue with this. I will not admit this application right now. No problem, don't admit it, but at least inform the controlling authority accordingly. Okay, inform the controlling authority that I have an issue and that's why this is inadmissible. Now, if there is a dispute, what happens if there is a dispute? If there is a dispute, employer says, I am not going to pay the gratuity. Because of this person, I have faced a lot of losses. I will not pay the gratuity. And the employee says, no, I haven't done anything. In such a situation, you must deposit 75% of the amount with the controlling authority. Okay? At least 75% of the amount must be deposited with the controlling authority. Only after that, you can go ahead with the dispute. Okay? Okay, now the controlling authority, they shall pay the amount of deposit to the applicant where he is an employee. Okay, and where the applicant is not an employee, then the legal heir, the nominee, the amount can be given to anyone. Now, application of gratuity. Employee who is going to receive the gratuity, he will apply in Form I. In how many days? 30 days, when the gratuity becomes payable. And now he knows that he is going to retire. Superannuation, you already know your retirement date. You know that you are going to retire. In such a case, you can give it 30 days prior only, that I am going to retire on 1st December. I am giving 30 days prior the application that I need gratuity. Okay. Now, a nominee, he can do it in Form J, again 30 days when it becomes payable. Legal heir, Form K, within 1 year. Okay. How can it done? It can be done personally or it can even be done through registered post. Now, if you talk about belated application, now what is a belated application? Belated application means the periods, the 30 days, the 90 days, all these have been expired and now you're filing an application. Okay. But if it's a sufficient cause, can the employer accept it? 100%. No problem. If it's a sufficient cause. But if there is a lot of delay in the claim, then no gratuity. And any dispute, the controlling authority will settle it. Now, within 15 days of receiving the gratuity application. Okay. So now we did an application. Now within 15 days. Within 15 days, the employer, he shall issue Form L. If he says, okay, I am admitting the claim, fine, I will pay it within 30 days. Okay, so if it's a Form L, he pays it within 30 days. If it's admissible. Okay, then for nominees, for legal heirs, you need 15 days more to verify that these are the nominees, these are the legal heirs. So 15 days more will be taken. Okay. Then, and guys, Form L is only and only when you think that this is admissible. Okay. And when you think that no, I don't want to admit this is false, then it's a Form M. You give it to the controlling authority with reasons that why aren't you admitting this particular application? Why are you denying this person the gratuity? Correct, guys? Got it? Okay. Now, let it be Form L or let it be Form M. Means admissible or inadmissible. It can be either done through registered post or it can be either done personally. Mode of payment, guys, it's a demand draft or a bank check. The amount should be credited directly to the employee's bank account. Okay. And if it's a minor, for minor's benefit, SBI, State Bank of India. Okay, now application for direction. If the employer, he refuses that I am not accepting your nomination. If he says no, I will not give you gratuity. You are not eligible. He says no, you say you're getting 16 lakhs gratuity. No, according to me, you're getting 10 lakhs gratuity. Or he fails to issue notice. If any of this happens, so the eligible person who is going to receive gratuity, now he wants to do a case, he will do a case in Form N. Within how many days? 90 days. With whom? The controlling authority. That see, I went to the employer, but this is what he did to me. Okay. Okay, now directions issued by the authority. Now the controlling authority, they will call the employer, they will call the employee, they will call the witnesses, they will see all the documents, they will make the calculations as per the act, they will see what exactly happened, what is the problem. Okay, and then once this entire thing is done, they will dismiss the case. Okay, and if the employer is supposed to pay the gratuity as per the controlling authority, he needs to do it within 30 days. If one of the parties is not present, especially if the employer is not present at the hearings, an ex parte can be passed. Ex parte order means order in presence of one party. Now, powers of controlling authority, guys, what are the powers of controlling authority? They can ask anyone, they can call for anybody's attendance, they can receive evidence on affidavits. What is evidence on affidavits? मैं गीता पे हाथ रख के कसम खाता हूँ, जो बोल रहा हूँ सच बोल रहा हूँ, सच के सिवा कुछ ही बोलूंगा. Affidavits. Whatever you're saying is the truth, nothing but the gospel truth. Okay. Then they can call for witnesses, they can call for documents, they can even seize the documents, they can confiscate it. Okay. And now if you're not okay with the decision of the controlling authority, you are not okay. So within 60 days, you can appeal to the appropriate government, central or state. Okay. Yes. Clear, everyone? Okay. Last part, recovery of gratuity. Okay, so the controlling authority, when an aggrieved person makes an application to the controlling authority that I need this amount, I need the interest, I need the gratuity back. Okay, that is recovery of gratuity. Okay. Now, if we talk about penalties, anybody who's giving a false statement, 1,000, 6 months imprisonment, which may extend up to 1 year. Okay. Okay. Done. The gratuity is protected, guys. The gratuity cannot be attached. without a legal authority for, like in any court case. Like people say, okay, this is a court case going on, now attach a gratuity, we'll take the money from his gratuity. No, you cannot do that. Gratuity is not attached to payment of any liabilities until and unless some legal authority is there. Okay. Done. And the rules should be prescribed and form you in English language or in any language that the majority of the people understand. The rules should be evidently kept at the entrance or any area where it is evidently seen. In which form? Form you. And that's it, guys. That's it. Yes, anybody, any doubts? Gratuity is over. Anybody, any doubts? All clear? Yes, public, all clear? Okay. Anybody, any doubts, guys, in gratuity? All okay, all clear? Please let me know, anybody, any doubts, because now we are going to do one more topic, that is PF, Employees Provident Funds Miscellaneous Provisions Act. We will be doing this topic and then we will stop for the day. So maybe 15-20 minutes more and then we will stop for the day. Yes. Just 15-20 minutes more and then we'll be done. मैम लर्न किया हुआ लंबे समय तक कैसे याद रखे? रिविजन, revise it as frequently as possible. The more you revise, the more you'll be able to remember things. And try in a month, you're revising the same thing at least 3 times. So the second month, you won't have to revise it for more than once. That's how the memory power works. Okay, chalo. Everything clear? Okay, let us start with Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952. Now, for what is this? This is for ensuring social security and providing financial assistance to the employees and the families. Everybody, all the employees, they need some social security. After it's over, after they're done with their jobs, they need some money to survive. Their families, they need some money. Okay, so here comes the provident funds and miscellaneous acts into the picture. So employees who earn salaries up to 15,000 per month, okay, then their pay includes basic wages, dearness allowance, retaining allowance, cash value of food concessions. For them, this is applicable. Okay. So the scheme provides old age and survivorship benefits. These are mainly old age benefits, long-term protection for the employees, for their family members. Financial support is given to their family members, even in case of an employee death. Yes, even in case of an employee death. This is the act that helps. Okay. Okay, now applicability. Now guys, about this 15,000 per month, if an employee is earning 15,000 per month, is it compulsory PF? Yes. But what if the employee is earning more than 15,000 per month? Then you can voluntarily opt in. You have a choice that you want savings for your old age. You can definitely voluntarily opt in, and majority of the employees do this. They opt in. Okay. Now applicability. Factories that are employing more than 20%. Establishment, if there are less than 20 employees, if there are less than 20 or more persons, then the central government has notified that no, this act is still going to be applicable. Where the employers and employees say that, you know what, let's just make this act applicable to us. Okay. And once this act is applicable to your particular establishment, even when the count falls below 20 employees, still it will continue. Okay. So school is covered. Of course, when principal says that there are 20 employees, the school is covered. Okay, now non-applicability of the act. Guys, it is not applicable for any establishment under cooperative societies. It's not applicable, especially if they have less than 50 people working. Okay. It is not applicable if there is a specific organization, if there is a specific establishment that works below central government or state government, and they are already providing them with a pension scheme or with a provident fund scheme or with such benefit scheme. They already have their own scheme. So now why do you need this also? Got it? Now what is an appropriate government? If we talk about railway company, port, mine, a controlled industry, an establishment in where two or more states have invested or central has invested, in all these cases the appropriate government would be CG. In other cases the appropriate government would be SG. Yes guys, clear everyone? Yes. Now, authorized officer. Who is an authorized officer? Defines the term authorized officer as the central PF commissioner, additional central PF commissioner, deputy, regional and such other officer. Okay. Now, let's talk about basic wages. If we talk about basic wages, we've already seen certain provisions where the employee is on a holiday and how holidays are calculated. Okay. So basic wages, guys, it will include dearness allowance, but it will not include any sorts of allowance like house rent, bonus, commissions, OTs. Again and again, we've been seeing the same provision. Yes, a contribution is done by an employer as well as employee into this provident fund. Okay. Now, who's an employer? The owner of the factory, the occupier who has a control, who has the ultimate control. If he's dead, his legal heir, his representative. Okay. And who is an employee, guys? Employee is, it includes all the employees, all sorts of employees. Let it be technical, let it be a person who is working on the field, let it be any sort of employee, it will be included here. Who's into manual work, directly, indirectly, okay? Okay, next. Next, if we talk about a factory. Now, factory, it includes all the premises where a manufacturing process is being carried on, and we have already defined a manufacturing process in the Factories Act. Okay, who is an occupier of the factory, who has the ultimate control? We've already seen this. Okay, now first let's talk about Employees Provident Fund Scheme. So, Employees Provident Fund Scheme, guys, Section 5, remember that. It was effective from 2nd of September 1952. They say we are going to establish provident funds for employees. Okay. Now there is a central board. Now what is a central board, guys? Central board is created by the central government. It consists of a vice chairperson. Who appoints this? CG. The Central Provident Fund Commissioner is ex officio and members are being appointed by CG. So the central board is at the top, okay. Then an executive committee is also created by, again, CG. Executive committee will help the central board in taking all the decisions. The next is state board. Again, the central board, in consultation with the state, it will appoint a board of trustees. And board of trustees, from time to time, they will be taking their different decisions. Now, contribution. How much is the contribution? I told you, in case of PF, both the people have to contribute, employer and employee. So, the employer must contribute 10% of the basic wages and dearness allowance. Correct? And the retaining allowance to the PF. Matched equally. Contributions can exceed this if employee wants to. So, see, 10% the employer will give, 10% the employee will give. Okay? Now, can employee give more than that? Absolutely. But will employer be required then also to give more? So, for example, if employee is given 12%. Now, employer also has to give 12? No. Employer will give the prescribed limit. It's employee who wants to give more, he may. Okay, maximum it's generally 12%. Now, wage limit. As I said, up to 15,000 a person can is automatically included in this entire act. But above 50,000, if you earn more than 50,000, you can opt in voluntary that I want to go for a PF. Okay. Now, this scheme is applicable to all factories, all establishments. Okay. The scheme is not applicable to the tea factories of Assam. Now, withdrawal for the fund, can you withdraw? In which all cases can you withdraw? You can withdraw up to 75% of balance. Okay. If you are authorized to do so with the permission of the commissioner. Okay. After that, if you want to purchase a house in which you are going to stay, okay, or you want to construct a house in which you are going to stay, dwelling, not a let out. There's a difference, right? You guys have studied it. There's a difference between letting it out and a dwelling house. So for a dwelling house, you can. You want to repay loans in certain cases, and you are going to retire anyways after 1 year, but you need the money now. So in all these cases, you can withdraw, and they need not be repaid. Okay. Now, advances for the fund can be taken for the following purposes: for illness, for marriages, for studies of children, for COVID calamities like COVID, for example, like unnatural calamities, then who are affected by the electricity supply and who are physically handicapped. Okay. So advances from the fund can be done for all these particular reasons. Then employee pension scheme, guys, employee pension scheme, superannuation pension, the people who know that now they are going to retire, it's done, they are no more going to be in that office. Okay. So retiring pension, a permanent total disablement pension, it's given. Widow or widower's pension is given. Children pension is given to the beneficiaries of employees. Okay, okay. Contribution. If there is no contribution from the employee. In case of employees pension scheme, the employer only contributes how much? 8.33% of what? Of basic wages, DA and RA, retaining allowance. Okay, we've been seeing this again and again. And if the employee crosses 58 years, the scheme is not applicable. The contribution is not payable then. And again, there is a central board, which we saw even in the previous case. And the central board, he decides on he takes certain decisions that who employees will be included here. If we talk about the qualifying services, what all are the services that will be eligible, what all are the benefits, in what situation, in what way the account should be taken care of, in what form should the employee submit the records and particulars, the manner in which expenses are taken care of. Okay. So n number of things the central board will give details into. And last is then employees deposit linked insurance scheme. Yeah, as I told you, it applies everywhere except for factories in Assam. Okay. So the insurance benefit under this scheme, first initially it was it has been increased from 2.5 lakh to 6 lakh, and initially the wage ceiling limit, it was only 6,500, now it has become 15,000. So contribution, guys, the employer contributes 1% of basic wages, DA plus RA. Everywhere it's just the same. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Determination of monies due from employers, review of order. This I've already explained to you, determination of money. Now, if I talk about review of order, if we are an aggrieved person and we are not really happy with the order of the officer who passed the order, and now we have discovered a new evidence, we couldn't produce it at the time of the previous hearing. Now, and there was some mistake that had happened, there was an error, or for any other sufficient reason, we can ask the officer that please review your order. I think I have new evidence. Yes, okay, clear. Appellate tribunal, when you are not really okay with the decision, that you're not really okay with the order that is passed by CG, you can go to the appellate tribunal. Done. Appellate tribunal, I told you 75% of amount appellate tribunal always deposits. Your amount cannot be attached, your provident fund, your gratuity amounts, they cannot be attached until and unless legal authority is there. Employee cannot reduce the basic wages just so that they can reduce the calculations. Okay. Penalties and done. That's it, everybody, guys. That's it. False statement, same. False statement, the penalties would be 5,000, 1 year imprisonment. If you do not follow this act, 1 year imprisonment, 4,000, etc., etc. You need to learn the penalties. That's it. Clear, everyone? Guys, anybody, any doubts? Yes, anybody, any doubts? Yes or no? Anybody, any doubts? Guys, anybody, any doubts, please let me know. If no doubts, that's it. All clear, ma'am. Very good, Rohit. Very good. No, ma'am. Prachi also has no doubts. Very good. So that's it, guys. That's all for the day. That's it. We'll stop for the day. Okay. We'll stop for now. All clear. Very good, Bhakti. Very good. So we'll stop for now, and I will see you all very soon. We'll let you guys know when are we meeting next. We'll let you guys know what is our agenda for the next session. Till then, everybody take care of yourselves. Thank you so much, guys. We did 3 labor laws today. I hope everything is clear. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Keep studying well. If you guys have any doubts, please put it up in the comment section. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Signing off, CS Kajal Hande from AEC. Thank you. Bye-bye.